我的梦啊！努西巴古的，你得把它放对。哦？啊，谢谢。屠龙，我操！สู้ๆ 吧。怎么办，师弟？我要去打野。
소환사의 협곡에 오신 것을 환영합니다.
여기 남자, 나한테 딱 맞은 곳이야.
미니언 생성까지 30초 남았습니다.
전리품이 너무 많은데 장식장을 늘려야겠어. 준비되면 공격해.
They're running straight for you. Kaza is near the Baron, trying to maybe make a steal. Oh, he gets started.
957 manages to survive a few seconds longer. He's running for his life. The big vision is coming down. The crab. 957. Run, man, run. He gets away.
Oh, that's beautiful.
They kill Leeson on the other side, and they get the Baron. Are you kidding me?
And I'm super fortunate that that's not just a treat for me. I get to see that almost every single week in the LPL. Unfortunately, though, I don't get to see 957's Kled too often. We only got to play it 3 times domestically, and it was pretty much perma-banned away from him after that. But nice to see some other teams let it slip in this tournament.
Yeah, but they might not do that any longer, having seen what he can do with that champion. Now, we want to hear your favorites, what they were at home. The good, the bad, we want them all. Tweet us at LOL Esports. Use the hashtag MSI2017. We'll pull a few to relive later in the day. Now, as always, let's start off by reviewing how the teams are stacked up. There's still a lot of shuffling that can happen. The craziest thing being a 4-way tie for 3rd place, but every team is still in control of their own destiny. So, quick rule of thumb, win 2 and you're in. Let's talk about the 4 teams still fighting for a knockout spot.
So for me, it's really going to be the Flash Wolves. You know, you look at their schedule here, they've got the easiest run in. They've already beat Team TSM as well as the Gigabyte Marines. So I think that they're kind of the easy sell in. That said, we've seen things go heads and tails sideways. They did have a good win over SKT, so anything can happen in this tournament. They're just who I'm leaning towards to lead that charge.
A very up and down tournament for that squad.
Yeah, and I mean, speaking of downs, they're the worst early game team in the tournament by far. They are averaging down over 2,000 gold at 15. Which is pretty brutal.
Except when they start playing SKT, you know. So like, there's been so much variance in this tournament where teams show up in one way and then in the other. I think a big component of that has also been the Gigabyte Marines. They do it also in such an exciting manner. For me, seeing people bring League Legends not back to life, but add another aspect to it. You know, the Zed Galio combo. It very much reminds you of the Poppy and Nivea combo we were pleased to see in Worlds, you know, from ANX. I love it when people find new champions, use them in creative ways. There's also the double dash LeBlanc. Galio goes in, LeBlanc snaps back. They have signature aggression in the early game, but with a bunch of champions. It's super enjoyable to watch.
Yeah, and huge shout out to the Gigabyte Marines coach. Not only is he one of the heads on that Galio competition, but he was also the first guy that brought Ziggs into that region and really propelled for that pick to pick up that team's play style.
And Ziggs has been such a big pick for them that people seem to continuously just underestimate. I mean, they've been playing this pushing-centric style, unlocking Levi, in the jungle, and people keep letting Stark have Gragas, and they keep letting Slay have Ziggs, and and they keep being surprised that they're losing.
But it's hard, right? If a team's willing to pull out something like Zed, all of a sudden banning against them becomes that much more difficult because it feels like
such a big pick for them that people seem to continuously just underestimate. I mean, they've been playing this pushing-centric style, unlocking
there's so many picks open to definitely get rid of at least of the Gragas, you know, and the Ziggs seems to be a
Starcraft Gragas, and they keep letting Slay have Ziggs,
as long as they ban that,
keep being surprised that they're losing.
But it's hard, right? If a team's willing to pull out something like Zed, all of a sudden
one of the things they seem to struggle with is closing
banning against them becomes that much more difficult because it feels like
such a big pick for them that people seem to continuously just underestimate. I mean, they've been playing this pushing-centric style,
there's so many picks open to definitely get rid of at least of the Gragas, and he's playing Starcraft Gragas, he's letting Slay have Ziggs, as long as they ban that, at least surprised that they're losing.
But it's hard, right? If a team's willing to pull out something like Zed, all of a sudden
going forward into the knockout stage.
And that's the bad thing about this tournament. G2 came in looking forward. They failed day one, they had the redemption shot, they even did mediocre right after, and now they honestly have another third chance within this tournament to still make it out. It's just completely bonkers.
Yeah, of course, there are many different scenarios that could come out. We're not going to go through them all here on the desk right now. We'll update throughout the day. But given these four teams and the games that we've got going on today, strength of schedule is obviously going to play into that. The first match of the day being G2 versus SKT. We are counting all the SKT games up to this point as accepted losses, but that could always throw a wrench in as well if people start taking games off of them.
I mean, I had the pleasure to cast yesterday. Going in, I was like, okay, I got 2 great games, and then I have SKT stopping Flash Wolves, and then suddenly you are witnessing just magic happening, like these sweet little rotations here and there. Flash Wolves.
We gotta zoom out. We gotta get these little dance moves.
I enjoy being taught League of Legends just to the highest level and being able to a little bit of push and pull in there. It was just super satisfying to watch. They completely deserved that win. It was not a steal. But then at the same time, that's the same Flash Wolves that is dropping games against other teams.
Yeah, I mean, of course, do you have something you want to throw in there?
The biggest thing for me was their late game was ridiculously good, and also, you know, I'm willing to watch more of that. But I mean, the Baron control for them was so incredible that it's weird to see that you can have a team play like almost perfect there, and then just have some awful games against some of the other teams.
We're also starting to see a little bit of a trend of SKT. You know, if they do have a weakness, where is it? And it seems to be kind of in their own ego. You know, blind picking some of these things like the blind pick Rumble and leaving it exposed to the likes of the Fizz. I don't think
Ori to Syndra is also one of those cases.
100%. And I don't think that Koma's going to do that again. But you never really know.
To be fair, though, this is a team that, if there isn't time to experiment, you're already guaranteed to get in the knockout stage. We gotta zoom out. We gotta get these little dance moves. If you're going to experiment now, and then say your serious stuff for the best of 5, so being able to give it a little bit of
push and pull in there. It was just super satisfying to watch. They completely deserved that win. It was not a steal. But then at the same time, that's the same Flash Wolves that is dropping
to the stage versus G2 Esports, and then TSM face off.
The biggest thing for me was their late game was ridiculously good, and also, you know, I'm willing to watch more of that. But I think the Baron control for them was so incredible that it's weird to see that you can have a team play almost perfect there, and then just have some awful games against some of the others.
We're also starting to see a little bit of a trend of
I'm glad you could make time for us, wrap up. Alright, well, as we sit into the gas to start our day, Wolf tells us what it's like to be one member in a star-studded lineup.
Exposed to the likes of the Fizz. I don't think they're 100%. And I don't think that Koma's going to do that again, but you never really know.
To be fair, though, this is a team that if there is time to experiment, you're already guaranteed to get in the knockout stage. We gotta get these little dance moves. If you're going to start experiment now, and then say you're so being able to give it a little bit of
but then at the same time, that's the same Flash Wolves that is dropping games.
Hello everyone, I'm Julian Petty. Join me for the first game of the day. SKT goes 2-2 to start. What a great way to kick off day number 5 of the MSI phase. And SKT, the perfect tournament has come to an end, but apart from that,
they have been absurdly dominant in this tournament, and I think Wolf has also been having a great tournament. Like he says, hard to shine with all the stars on SKT, but the more they win, the more that entire team becomes famous.
But the big question now is, how are they rolling up the day after they had that big loss to the Flash Wolves? Because SKT, sure, we know they can shake off a loss. Of course, they have already played a series since that game, but also the question will be, Koma was certainly going to be pretty irate after dropping in. They've had a day to go home, reassess, consider things moving forward. I'm really excited to see whether it's just if they keep it simple today, because that's kind of my first impression.
Yeah, and SKT always talks about avoiding arrogance and treating every team as if they're one that can beat you. And it did feel like the arrogance crept in a little bit in some of those draft phases, losing lanes across the board against Flash Wolves and actually getting punished. So I expect a much more early game or laning focused strategy from SKT today.
Well, we'll see what happens here. Let's review the starting lineups. On the blue side to kick us off, it is of course SK.
But the big question now is how are they rolling up the day after they had that big loss to the Flash Wolves? Because SKT, sure, we know they can shake up a loss. Of course, they have already played a series since that game. But also the question will be, Karma was certainly going to be pretty irate after dropping in. They've had a day to go home, reassess, consider things moving forward. I'm really excited to see whether it's just if they keep it simple. That's kind of my first impression.
Yeah, and SKT always talks about yes, it does suck for them, but they should be able to reset. On the G2 side, they already have 2 losses and are likely expecting another one to come here. This is a team I think mentally could really collapse at the end.
It's worth noting though, of course, this was the first match of this tournament, and G2 started very solidly. They had a great win early, and it was their chance to make the question now is how they rolling out the day after they had that big loss in the mid-game. We know they senior league because they've already played a series since that game, but also the question will be,
and that really has been their biggest weakness. And we talk about whether or not they can have the right mentality, because this is a team that really felt like they imploded last year in the World Group stage, finishing 1-5. And after their start, you may have thought that that could have happened again, but I feel like this G2 team is much stronger mentally than they used to be in. Obviously, it's incredibly difficult to start off your day with SK Telecom Team 1. They got to do their best to keep level head, and I think they can do it.
Well, I think so as well, but here's champ select between these two sides. Lots of jungle bans already. LeBlanc, the starter for SKT T1, but Ivan, Elysian, and Graves all taken out as well.
Heavy jungle focus, and this is interesting. We've seen a little bit of a decrease actually in the Luong Karma bans, and people are more okay with just trading them away. So heavy jungle bans right here.
Very surprised to see the Fizz, the final ban on blue side. Fizz jumped really in priority as a flex pick yesterday. 3 early rotation Fizzes flexing to mid against Syndra, the top lane matchups we know all about. All of them victories. It's been a very popular pick this tournament. And now it makes me wonder about if the Twitch will be banned. It won't. And Twitch has been consistently banned against SKT because you can try banning all the shielding supports, but then there's still Tom Kench, and SKT will blind pick Twitch very often.
Yeah, with Lulu and Karma up, that's still a possibility. They can pick the Lulu with the Karma, or they can even put Lulu mid lane and Nami bottom lane, so a very real flex for SKT. That being said, all of those jungle bans, I agree with the Fizz ban in this instance because I think G2 may have even picked it right here, and it's not something you necessarily want to lane and Nami bottom lane, so a very real flex for SKT. That being said, all of the jungle bans, I agree with the Fizz ban in this instance because I think G2 may have even picked it right here, and it's not something you necessarily want to lane and Nami bottom lane, so a very real flex for SKT. That being said, all of the jungle bans, I agree with the Fizz ban in this instance.
With a lot of their clear centric
suits Trick's style, because he's very often a level 6 jungler and stuff. And even that gets banned away, so I think we can see where G2 is going here. I think they want Caitlyn and Yuji as their two legs, what I most likely expect. So up as a wide, so I think we can see where G2 is going. They're discussing which areas are most
I think he's maybe discussing potential matchups there. There's Caleb, though, exactly as he kind of expected. And if that was G2's plan, they have to pivot very quickly here in the dark.
And here's actually something we didn't track. They didn't get a ban off the Kha'Zix, so scratch the movement thing. They're still going to have a hyper carry, but getting Kha'Zix is much higher value.
And now you wonder where Peanut will go, because he had a pretty narrow pool throughout the course of LCK's ring. He played maybe 6 junglers all season, and 4 with any seriousness. All of them accounted for in this situation. You might start wondering where he'll go.
Yeah, we call it a narrow pool, but I mean, that's just the jungle pool. Let's be honest, pool. And at this point, you're almost beginning to reach outside that. We saw some, random sack stuff from certain players. But what's the defense pocket pick going to be?
He's a fighter, he's a skirmisher. We saw his attempt at an hybrid game, and it left a lot to be desired. It was very disparate from the level of play we've seen of other champions.
I can see more up here, because they have the lead. I was trying to think of when you get finished if you have your jungle pools, what could you pull out? And Peanut had some tremendous roll-out games internationally as well as last year, especially when you have the haste of something like
He debuted at Worlds, if you remember, Jack. We finally saw it very late in that tournament. Never played it this year, never played it before Worlds. So certainly, it's going way back in history with Peanut. And for once, he's not going to be on a comfort like this in this tournament. Plus, we get Faker on Ahri, which makes you pumped that it is that Ahri versus Orianna skill matchup. And that's the thing, really safe, very respectful from SKT here with something like the Ahri. He could also flex the Kenna, which is another thing I was trying to get him before. It could be AD Kenneth's Venom, and we've seen Europe do it quite a lot. Looks like it is last big shame for X-Men.
Oh, man, that's something right there.
John, are you all right there? You need a second.
I don't like it at all right now. And obviously it could work and you could be called a fool later, but you have the Karma Orianna, so generally speaking, you want to set that up for a really good scaling margin. Yes, some of them were banned away, but you can still even put Ash with that and have strong laning phases. The cannon doesn't guarantee win that lane against...
The Bluetooth device is ready to pair. The Bluetooth device is connected successfully. The Bluetooth device is ready to pair. The Bluetooth device is connected successfully.
With the all-up, it's likely to be blue. With the all-up, it's likely to be blue.
get back to his tower, but he's got no chance.
Low damage, low KDA as well. But watching this one,
Why does he walk up?
He's trying to get a good trade, but he's just not necessarily paying attention to the map. They try to go on Bang once again.
Let him again, 52 starting, Bang low. Here's Benson under the damage. He already got Polymorph. They're going to try to back around that damage. Disgusting as that one for SKT. Mindy might make it a second as well. Look at the fluffy clutch. Kittlelands gets it. Now going to lay the autos in. Is Trick down here to try and turn it around. Mindy grabs the flash, but here's Perk down as well. Flash out from Bang is TP'd up from SKT. Peanut forces Perk flash on the other side of G2. Back towards her outer tower. Peanut, is he going for a dive here? G2 getting real far back.
Now it feels like every lane on the map is collapsing for G2. The mid lane was what was the bastion of hope. The two ganks and then the turret going down really removed that. Now Orianna will be roamed on very comfortably by Faker. You know, so little Expect can do in the bot lane, and even in the top lane, sorry, and bot lane is already also feeling the brunt of the pain.
And these are the disaster early games you hope to avoid. Expect was holding up in the top lane for quite a while, but Huni has made such a large impact on the rest of the map. Since then, you're seeing some of the advantage, and also outplays by pretty much everyone else on the SKT lineup.
And that's kind of been the thing for SKT this tournament, has been the casual sidesteps on skill shots that we don't. Dies another 5 times in the next 10 minutes. They cannot have a scenario where lanes are just trying to make individual plays and lose sight, because they have a must-win game coming later in the day, and its stabilization, even if the result won't stabilize, is as necessary for G2, given the context of the tournament.
Well, not looking great so far. 7,000 gold up for SKT and 4 turrets to nothing. I think Perks has to feel so frustrated because Ari, despite being behind, has made so many other plays. I mean, Faker's Ari is pretty good when you have Peanut as your jungle backing you up and Huni as your Galio coming down from top lane. Stuff like this happens where Huni and Expect the trading and Expect, he's not winning.
He's got no pressure. There's nothing he can do to push up, and of course the lanes have kind of disintegrated already, so Bang is there looking for a kill anyway. There's no good decisions left, really, for anyone on the side of G2. It's just what SKT leave up to them while they make plays around the map.
Yeah, and is this what SKT looks like when they're actually angry? Because they did.
He gets away!
Oh, that's beautiful. They kill Lee Sin on the other side, and they get the Baron. Are you kidding me?
And I'm super fortunate that that's not just a treat for me. I get to see that almost every single week in the LPL. Unfortunately, though, I don't get to see 957's Kled too often. He only got to play it 3 times domestically, and it was pretty much perma-banned away from him after that. But nice to see some other teams let it slip in this tournament.
Yeah, but they might not do that any longer, having seen what he can do with that champion. Now, we want to hear your favorites, what they were at home. The good, the bad, we want them all. Tweet us at LOL Esports and use the hashtag MSI2017. We'll poll a few to relive later in the day. Now, as always, let's start off by reviewing how the teams are stacked up. There's still a lot of shuffling that can happen. The craziest thing being a 4-way tie for 3rd place, but every team...
Guy that brought Ziggs into that region and really propelled for that pick to pick up that team's play style.
And Ziggs has been such a big pick for them that people seem to continuously just underestimate. I mean, they've been playing this pushing centric style, unlocking Levi, in the jungle.
And I don't think that Coma's going to do that again, but you never really know.
To be fair, though, this is a team that, if there is a time to experiment, you're already guaranteed to get in the knockout stage. They have best of fives to go through. You know, if you're going to experiment now and then save your serious stuff for the best of fives. So, you know, you have to give them a little bit of the benefit of the doubt with that.
Still need to win one to clinch that
To be fair, though, this is a team that, if there is a time to experiment, you're already guaranteed to get in the knockout stage. They have best of fives to go through. You know, if you're going to experiment now and then save your serious stuff for the best of fives. So, you have to give them a little bit of the benefit of the doubt.
Now, still need to win one to clinch that first place.
This is a team that, if there is a time to experiment, you're already guaranteed to get in the knockout stage. They have best of fives to go through. If you're going to experiment now and then save your serious stuff for the best of fives.
I'm glad you could make time for us. All right, well, as we still need to the count, we start our day. Wolf tells us what it's like to be one member of our straight line.
You're already guaranteed to get in the knockout stage.
아무리 못해도 저는 실수 항상 적어요. 그렇다고 또 서브가 사실 슈퍼플레이가 나올 수가 없어요. 그래서 좀 이제 발전을 혼자 아무리 못해도 저는 실수 항상 적어요. 좀 아쉽긴 한데 팬분들이 알아주시면 또 별로 감사한 일이죠. 서브가 사실 슈퍼플레이가 나올 수가 없어요. 그래서
Joining me for the first game of the day are Joshua Jack Leeman and Chris Smith. SKT vs 2-2 to start off with a great way to kick off day number 5 of the MSI Group Stage. And SKT, their player performance has been dynamic apart from that flip-up to Melvin Hotels. Joining me for the first game of the day are Joshua Jack Leeman and Chris Smith. SKT vs 2-2 to start off with a great way to kick off day number 5 of the MSI Group Stage. And SKT, their player performance has been dynamic apart from that flip-up to Melvin Hotels. Joining me for the first game of the day are Joshua Jack Leeman. Chris was also the question of being. SKT going to do this one. The question now is that I think they're rolling forward. They should be able to reset.
Those are the times I remember, Jack.
Of the 8 games, and that really has been their biggest weakness. And we talk about whether or not right here.
Very surprised to see the Fizz, the final ban on blue side. Fizz jumped really in priority as a flex pick yesterday. 3 early rotation Fizzes flexing to mid against Syndra, the top lane matchups we know all about. All of them victories. It's been a very popular pick this tournament. And now it makes me wonder about if the Twitch will be banned. It won't. And Twitch has been consistently banned against SKT because you could try banning all the shielding supports, but then there's still Tom Kench, and SKT SKT will blind pick Twitch very often.
Yeah, with Lulu and Karma up, that's still a possibility. They can pick the Lulu with the Karma, or they can even put Lulu mid lane and Nami bottom lane, so a very real flex for SKT. That being said, all of those jungle bans, I agree with the Fizz ban in this instance, because I think G2 may have even picked it right here, and it's not something you necessarily want you first pick with all the shielders still available.
Well, see what happens here. Lulu first pick for SKT, that's kind of obvious. Syndra was G2's last ban, so taking that one away is kind of interesting. We're expecting Karma, but the likes of Canon, the likes of Rumble were left open. They'll actually first pick Orianna, though.
Seeing it this early in the draft is surprising. SK Telecom was not playing Orianna with a lot of their Twitch-centric hyper carry drafts. Anyway, obviously a very famous pick for Faker, but they showed a lot of top laners before locking in the Orianna. It's a Perkz comfort pick, and it could certainly still be double shielding from G2.
Yeah, and if they end up locking in this Karma in the next 4 or 5 seconds, it does give them most likely 2 pushing lanes, but they opt not to. Leave the door open for SKT to take it here.
And it feels like insanity, because the one team you don't want to leave up double support, Karma and Lulu flex picks to, is SK Telecom, because Bang is proven on the Twitch. He even has played the Cogmore so far this tournament. So we were talking about that, we're like, okay, maybe against TSM you can leave up Lulu and Karma, but against this team in particular, it seems like a gambit too far.
Yeah, and it feels a little bit like madness. They blind pick both solo laners as a red side team against SKT, who have some of the deepest solo lane champion pools. Guaranteed they're walking into mostly 2 counter picks. They banned away the one they're most fearful of in the Syndra, but still, what's Faker gonna have ready?
And look, let's give them the benefit of the doubt. The only reason you blind pick in the first round of both your champions is because you feel like you have a practice strategy that can go against the field. Kennen wins basically every top lane matchup. Orianna usually may not have pressure, but can get through lanes. But it seems like a huge gambit if we're giving them the benefit of the doubt.
Especially looking at the SKT TSM game yesterday, where Huni destroyed Hauntzer's Kennen top lane. Different day, different players, different draft, but still pretty risky for G2.
You see the first 3 picks from SKT and you're like, all right, well, I don't even know what could fill out a draft to take it down. It's already Twitch being so powerful, so often blind picked without any sort of respect for Caitlyn's and other powerful bot lanes. G2 will respond most likely, I think they already have, with the Karma. So they do have one shielding support. But you look at SKT's side and you're like, it's not quite blind pick territory, but it's not far away from it. Doesn't really feel like they were hurt by the bans or pickaways at all.
I mean, both teams have actually quite a lot of protection for a hyper carry here. SKT, they've already taken theirs in the Twitch, but I think they took Kennen kind of as a risk assessment, saying that they won't take Karma. They get it back here, but what they maybe give up could hurt. Elise actually now going to get banned by G2, so starting to attack more junglers from Peanut.
Yeah, and that's actually the coolest thing about this draft. As many risks as G2 have been taking, and as much as SK Telecom look, they're getting blind picked, something where they're not getting it is in the jungle position. Quite obviously, that's now 3 jungle bans by G2 alone to push Peanut down in this pool.
Makes you wonder if it's going to push to, say, the Rengar. That was a kind of a very fluctuating pick for Peanut. It was one of his lowest win rates. He dropped 4 or 5 games with it during the regular season. And it's also, of course, a slower ramp-up level 6 jungler that suits Trick's style, because he's very often a level 6 jungler himself.
And even that gets banned away. So, I mean, I think we can see where G2 is going here. I think they want Caitlyn and Nunu as their 2 picks is what I'm most likely Caitlyn banned from SK Telecom right here, but they're discussing which carry they're most fearful of with the double shields and a potential Nunu.
Just saw Koma talking to Bang, so I think he's maybe discussing potential matchups there. There's Caitlyn, though, exactly as you kind of expected. And if that was G2's plan, all right, they have to pivot very quickly here in the draft.
And here's actually something we didn't track. They didn't get a ban off for Kha'Zix, so scratch the Nunu thing, they're still going to have a hyper carry, but getting Kha'Zix as a denial pick is much higher value than picking Nunu here.
And now you wonder where Peanut will go, because he had a pretty narrow pull throughout the course of LCK Spring. He played maybe 6 junglers all season, and 4 with any seriousness, all of them accounted for in this situation. You might start wondering where he'll go.
Yeah, we call it a narrow pool, but I mean, that's just the jungle pool.
Sure.
It was Peanut's pool, and at this point, you're almost beginning to reach outside of that. We saw some, random Zac stuff from certain players, but what's Peanut's pocket pick going to be?
He's a fighter, he's a skirmisher. We saw his attempt at an Ivern game, and it left a lot to be desired. It was very desperate from the level of play we've seen on other champions.
I can see Olaf here, because they have the Lulu. I was trying to think of when you get pinched or if you have weird jungle pools, what could you pull out? And Peanut had some tremendous Olaf games internationally at Worlds last year, especially when you have the haste of something
and
like
he debuted at Worlds, if you remember, Jet. We finally saw it very late in that tournament. Never played it this year, never played it before Worlds. So certainly, it's